Alrighty, we should be live. Just gonna, there we go, YouTube's caught up. So, as the title of today's stream kind of implies, I'll just be continuing with the French Tech Tree. With today, we'll just jump straight to the VLT2 to grind La Suprise, and maybe get a decent way into VLT1. So yeah, I guess we'll just jump straight into it. Although, I might actually want to use one of these boosters. Let's use it 50% one. And see how far we get. I'm a little bit curious to see how the VLT2 will perform. I haven't played it yet. And I see I've noticed to forget the crew experting, which is always something you want to do for naval. And any game mode really, as long as you have the SL to spare. But I'm expecting semi-good things from the VLT2. There's not much wrong you can do with a Bofors boat. Northport is not a bad start, depending on the kind of enemy coastal vessels we'll see. If it's a full up tier to 4-3, you might have a bit of a problem. And I'll invite Nord in after this battle. Only VLT1. Why does it say I'm in a squad? It's because I got... Why does it say I'm in a squad? No, well, Douglas 4-0, Orla is... Oh, what is Orla again? I think it's also 4-0, but I'm not entirely sure. It's okay, 3-3. Okay, the Douglas going out of a missile. And an incredible hit against the Kumkari. And they also got sunk immediately. I've got the AP belts loaded at least. Well. That is a player. Yeah, I'm not too worried. I luckily have a bit of a resistance against the high tier coastal grind. I've been doing a bit of American coastal recently as well. I'm not gonna jump out in front of that thing if I can avoid it, but it doesn't seem like I can avoid it. So just shoot it first, I guess. I have an artist strike, and I think he's over here, isn't he? Of course, the BMO still has spawn protection. It's missiled, which is funny. There we go. Somehow still fine. Somehow. Or Douglas got nuked, but that's to be expected. He's doing a lot better than... oh, by the way, is that a Gaijin employee I see in an LCS in our team? Scarper and Bob D. It's weird how you always run into them with coastals. Doesn't go... no, I have actually seen them play blue water vessels. But when you usually run into them, they're always in coastals. Well, usually in coastals. We're taking some hits. Scarper finishing off their LCS. Candid is a bigger fish, but not an immortal fish. Spawn protection, spawn protection, spawn protection, darn it. Can look to torpedo the Candid. There goes one. What are the torpedo speeds? Mediocre. Very mediocre. Probably not actually. Torpedo is still moving. I need to double check if I've actually removed the torpedo mode modification on the ship, or if it even has one. Forgot to check that before this battle. Torpedo still on target. Vaguely on target. Second torpedo. Torpedo hit. Hit his stern though. Which isn't exactly great. Canada's been sunk by an Orla. Lovely. Load his guns, straight into the ammo rack apparently. He has been captured. I no longer have any torpedoes, which is a bit of a bummer, so I should probably reload those. Okay. Off goes his tail. And that's a cyclone, and I didn't have any hold on. You shoot the cyclone by shooting his superstructure straight into the magazine. I have in a few custom battles a while ago. It can be kind of fun. Now I really need to make it back to the E point for some torpedoes. Not a bad first match in this thing. There's a Flins heading our way, of course. If I can look onto it, I'll probably just try and drop some RT on it.
Just a little more effort, and victory will surely be ours. Him down.
Flins will move like that, I think. We'll see what happens. Alright, he's probably not going to be on target, but no well. Just gonna hope I can get those torpedoes loaded before the Flinza comes around the corner, but it seems like I will. weapons is also taking a long way around by the looks of it. The torpedo is loaded. Let's go hunt ourselves a destroyer. If the A-35 doesn't do it first. Okay, that's a little bit faster than I expected. We shoot his engines, we shoot his engines. Ready a torpedo. Torpedo out. Keep putting the engines. Ready a second torpedo. First one should hit, and I should actually, yeah, I'll kill him with guns first. Alrighty. The torpedo would have probably hit.
Somebody attack him.
This is fine. More than fine even. The K2 there is a bit scary.
Destroy the target.
Especially with his automatic cannons. We'll just shoot at coastals. So we hide behind a rock. And just wait here. And that should be game. As long as they don't... Well, they don't even have time to capture T. There we go. A very good first match for this battle rating with the French. We're very lucky that they didn't have too many dangerous coastal vessels. And the few they did, we could counter. And is La Suprise unlocked? Let's select the crew and it shall go there. And VLT1 will be next. You'll probably want to get an invite. And let's first check, do I have torpedo mode equipped? I did, and that's probably not good. What's my speed now? 80 is much more respectable than 65. And 2 kilometer range is good enough. Then La Suprise, can I expert it? I can, so I will. Reload rate is 3 seconds. Well, let's give it a go. Let's switch the default research over to the sap shell, not the parts. And we'll see how far we get tonight. Don't think we'll get all the way to VLT tonight, but if I use some of these boosters a bit more, I might. I don't want to use that 15% one. French Coastal has been pretty decently fun. Yeah, I mean, if I remember the last few sessions right, I went through the first 5 boats in the first one. I think I just, on my second one, I started spitting MTB and got 1959 with it. And I don't remember if I started... No, I started playing L1959 as well, I think, in the second one. Then in the third one, I got at us and spaded at us. And this is the fourth one. So yeah, it's been pretty quick, pretty painless. The early boats, the ones with only 7.7s, sure, not optimal, but they're 1.0s, you just rush stuff, and they're mostly AIs. This is a really fun boat, this is a decent enough boat, this is a good boat, they don't see any destroyers. These do, but the 1959 is pretty fun. It is just good firepower against other actual boats and decent survivability. Arras is really tanky and actually has firepower enough to deal with destroyers, although it's not really my favorite boat. The Suprise should be fine. I've played the River class in Britain, it's decent enough. And the VLTs are Beaufort's boats. There's 3-3 for Beaufort's boats, I can't really say anything about them. I'm curious to see how La Combattante will actually play, because those SS-11 seems more like gimmicks rather than effective weapons. Yeah, French Coastal has been pretty fun. Mostly because it's still a very cheap tree to grind through. I mean, seeing as I've gotten this far into it in basically 10-ish hours, 10 to 12 hours. Fuego Islands is a bit suboptimal for the river class. Oh, very suboptimal actually. What is the BR spread? Ikazuchi is 3.7, T22 is 3.7. Actually, no, Ikazuchi is 3.3. Mitsuki is 3.3. Burna is 3.3. I am going to wait to spawn a bit to get the more powerful ships out first. Also, that might be a mistake. Z15 is 4.0. Its fuel is 3.3. Let's see what happens. I spawn all the way in the rear, completely in the open, because of course I do. Enemy ships, we have mostly reserves, La Combattante, or a... Oh, I actually forgot what the British class of that is. Anyways, that's pretty dangerous, but that's La Combattante with only 2 turrets. Kyoshima is a 4.3, so we do have a full up tier. G class is a 4.0, I believe, or 3.7. You have Phoenix and French in our team, yep. I'm going to hold my fire. Although I'm curious if that'll actually be meaningful. Got a really bad spawn, and it seems that the Yugabon is already wanting to sink me. Already down to half crew, as expected. Already down to a quarter crew. 10%. And soon to be dead, I assume. And because this thing is counted as a coastal vessel, it gets shot up by the AI gunners on enemy ships. There we go, not enough crew. How they ruined this map, I really still am baffled by it. But oh well. Such is a life of Hydro Coastal. Some sap would be really nice though. At least I'm not sinking too quickly. And it is indeed a French Le Combattant. Yeah, I got a really bad spawn point all the way at the back, whilst the rest of my team got closer to the island. So we'll just continue on. And I got the exact same bad spawn. Fortune's on my side, clearly. And the really annoying thing is you still can't actually inspect the crew position on coastal vessels, can you? The crew layout. I'll say, for HE it is pretty meaty against these earlier destroyers. The splash radius is not too bad on it. I mean, I hope they will edit the crew layout for coastals. Because this ship is a coastal vessel, but it has the same damage model as the Blue Waters. Same crew layout thing. So I really hope you should be able to see it on them. Shot up by AI gunners because it's a coastal vessel, quote unquote. I'm willing to bet a torpedo has been launched against me already, but I think we'll find out the hard way if that's actually the case or not. This is fine. Getting bomb-bombed from 4.5 kilometers away is less fine. That's not doing too much damage to me. HXK, alright. Oh, this thing does have search radar. Interesting. There's two types of radar as well. That might be something worth investigating. Doesn't seem to have tracking. Well, yeah, it doesn't seem to have tracking radar. Just search radar. And that Le Combattant is sinking. That's one of those Italian reserves, or at least loader destroyers. Let's see if we can do some damage to that. These planes are getting close. Really connections from there as well.
Just keep it up, and victory will be ours.
That's also an Italian ship, I think. Oh, it looks a bit like a Vega.
Somebody attack him!
It is a Vega, okay.
Thank you!
A severely flooded Vega. It has been sunk. And that is actually the river class, isn't it? This has the Bofors in the middle, which this thing actually also it has 20 moles. Those distinctly seem like Bofors to me.
Most of the strategic zones are captured.
The bridge on this thing holds quite a bit of crew, apparently.
Let's keep the pressure on. Victory is close.
It also seems quite susceptible to just normal HE splashing, which is not great. Not entirely sure why he isn't engaging me with his main guns. There are enemy aircraft up. Just gonna make sure my AI gunners will have actually seen them. Yeah, there is indeed a spy up, and I think that's the that's the guy. And he's been bombed by our panda in the HE-1.
Contrôle des dégâts au groupe de réparation. Pompez l'eau des compartiments inondés. Maintenant. Contrôle des dégâts à mon poste. Suivant. Type identifié. Patrouilleur. 4000 mètres. Dans le milieu du navire. Terminé.
Let's see how much damage we can do to the Groza before the match ends.
Forces have captured a zone. Let's keep the pressure on. Victory is close.
A fair amount, but probably not enough to actually sink it. There we go.
Cessez le feu. Placez les armes et l'équipement en position de stockage.
I mean, for a stock battle in this thing is not the worst result, despite the somewhat disastrous first spawn. We did get our sap of the first battle at least. And then next off will be parts and FP. Let's get FP first because it's cheaper. And I'll invite Phoenix. I can already tell that this is probably going to be the least pleasant friendship in their tech tree. So let's swap out the HE for SAP. Do not have any default depth charge or anything like that. Nope. Squad mates are ready, and let's just head into the next one. It was fairly quick. And it's Fuego Islands again. So this time we'll be one of the first to spawn, hopefully. I will want to take some HE, just for the odd coastal vessel and the like. And we spawn in the front, so we head directly to the island. And hopefully don't get shot by those people too much. Which again, it is a almost full up tier. I think the Ognavoy is 4-0 as well, together with the Alwyn. So those things do not look like Ognavoys to me. Although they look like they could be 4-0. I think after getting parts in FP, I definitely want to get some mobility upgrades for this thing. It is rather slow, and I do not want it to be that slow. I'm also not going to engage those boats at 7 kilometers, I just do not have the accuracy for it. That is being me, because I don't have a lead indicator on the ship. And I don't think I'll even really do enough damage at that range. There's not much else to shoot at. Our teammates are already softening up a bit. So let's take some pot shots. Okay, lead is about accurate. Locks onto the rear one, which actually got blown up by an Ognavoy. Not doing no falls of it is SAP. A lot of overpens and non-penetrations. Which is a little bit sad. I'm also aiming too low, I noticed. Another overpen.
Enemy forces have captured a zone.
Everyone through one of the upper, one of the superstructure elements. And I just can't get the range right. The rangefinder upgrade might be an important one as well for this thing. And let's see what it can do against the close range Mutsuki.
210, 1500 meters.
We're aiming for the middle shell room under the second turret. Because if that goes up, it usually sinks the ship, and it's next to the engines, so it's a pretty safe target to go for. And still do a lot of crew damage. The rear gun no longer has line of sight, there we go. And it should be the Mutsuki sunk by just crew damage. Let's try and finish it off, there we go. There's an enemy on the seaport apparently, Frunze. And sheer amount of 20 mils, shot down the aircraft luckily. I do not have the arc to actually shoot over that. Mitsuki is back.
Enemy forces have captured a zone.
So let's see if we can bully that. Scottmud is already going for B, that's good. I'm gonna try and turn around 180 degrees and actually fight over C. Because it doesn't seem like our team is really doing too well on that flank. As on the other hand, I might actually want to go over to A as well, because I am a bit of a big boat, and I might be able to help out at A. So let's just stay on course, really. Just cannot get my hits on that guy, so let's... Our summit is Opni. And ideally, this witch is already shooting the Tsuki, I believe. That's fine. So I just keep on pressuring this Riani. This Riani, no, it's an Opni, never mind. And we should be fine. If I can actually hit my shells where I want them to hit. Which I swear they're just going clean through him. But they were just going low. And then they go high. There we go. Just a few more decent engine hits to do it. There we go. Took long enough. We've got a friendly on sea, but they're somehow not decapping it. Because there's still enemies on sea.
If we don't do something fast, the enemy will win.
I'm getting shot by heavy firepower from the front, which is a little bit annoying. Tsuki is flooding, but I will try and put him down. The Opni doesn't seem to be very happy with what I did, but it isn't the Opni, it's actually the Litchfield. Oh, that's a bit troublesome. I also don't have nearly enough speed to actually make it to the A point before the match ends. So fighting over C probably would have been the safer bet for me. But oh well. Come on, guns. Actually hit him. And go clean through, I guess. Let's see if these 20 missiles can actually shoot in that plane before it bombs my squad mate. It also seems like we're actually capturing C, so that's good. If I get sunk in this boat, I can just quickly hop into VLT2 and maybe contest A.
We've captured most of the strategic zones.
Let's load some HE. And I think, yeah, I'm dead in the water because of my engines. I'm a little surprised that this Clemson is so focused on me. We're doing well. Squadman will just wipe up more of the coastal spawns. And I guess I'll just be in this long-range gunfight with a Clemson. Which my guns are just not liking to actually get a proper range to. I'm also almost running out of sap shells. I should be able to take down this Clemson at least. Hopefully. I still really dislike the fact that the AI gunners will only shoot at a target if you've actually visually confirmed them. But oh well. So every now and then I'll just have to look at the coastal spawn so I don't get flanked and my 20 mils will just do nothing. Is that Clemson finally going down? Come on. There we go. What else is shooting me now? Is it the G-class? Or is it that Clemson? Well, let's try and deal with this G-class before it gets anywhere close to the B point. With my limited stock of sap shells. And my frustratingly undershooting guns, which then overshoot of course when they hit. And there goes the Barker, or the Clemson class. This G-class is sailing away from me, so I need to over-aim a little. Enemies capturing Zone C, of course. I'll actually switch to the HE for a few salvos. Let's see what that does, because I want to conserve some of my sap. I think I'll just have to make my way back to B now.
Enemy forces have captured a zone.
That's of course the Clemson I shot, sank earlier. Is that a torpedo or a bomb underneath it? It's a bomb. Now would have been a great time to have VT. Must have been a torpedo that actually dropped. G-class is still angry at me, although luckily he's not going for the B point.
Another zone captured, we have the advantage.
And there I go. This is just a really awkward ship, isn't it? It's still more than enough time in the match to actually consider a backup. So Vegas really shouldn't be having problems with this kind of matchup.
Ennemi détecté. Par accident. Cible identifiée. Contre-torpilleur. Position 1-4-0. 4000 mètres. Pas au milieu du navire. Pas au milieu du navire. Terminé. Moteur 2 tiers.
Like the gun I'm armed with, the Vega has twice the amount. So the fact that this Frunze has just been sitting there at 60% health before I shot it shouldn't be the case with a Vega just closing in like that. And again, that Vega just seems to be sailing straight into the middle of the enemy team without actually using its guns.
Cible identifiée. Contre-torpilleur.
And there he goes. Okay, that's one is dealt with at least. And these kind of ranges is a lot easier to actually hit the enemy ships with these guns. Although I'm still not great with it.
We're ahead of the enemy.
Okay. Already down to half health from that one bound destroyer in front of me, which is not great. Maybe we can take on one of these Russian destroyers with me. If my guns want to behave, which they didn't seem like they do. That fire is not going to be great for me. And game's over anyways. Good. But these guns are really temperamental, even at close range. Still got second place though, so I can't complain. Got a good chunk of RP, which will get me FPE. Let's get rudder. And... Ideally... Well, there's nothing really that I need to get in here. But let's get auxiliary armament, because that means faster training 20s, which wouldn't be a bad thing. And that's not a booster I want to use. 200% booster. Don't really want to use it on this ship. So let's just use a 15% booster for the remainder of today. And then get auxiliary armament, then improved range finding. And we'll see from there. Improved range finding, then we'll go shrapnel protection, propeller replacement, then probably VT, and then just more speed upgrades. Also, at least the spading is going decently quickly, although that was a 50% booster for the first 2 matches. And progress into VLT1 is going smoothly as well. And now we just continue to wait. And hopefully not get the same map again. That's probably the main culprit of the poor survivability. A hull of 16 millimeters of structural steel. It's around about 7 millimeters of actual armor. Not great. I'm equally surprised by how many overpens I'm getting with the sap. Especially against the hull segments of a destroyer rather than the engines. This, the Suprise does not get a coastal spawn now. 100% a blue water spawn. It's actually slower than the others, which is painful. How fast can I get this thing to actually go? With the upgrades to 33, 35-ish. 37. Really? This thing is actually slower than the others? Very interesting. Is it not in a good way? And we got... oh no. Okay, we got the same map, but a different variant, and this is a much worse variant. Please don't be an up tier. Okay, it's a small match. But if this is an up tier, this is going to be a brawl and a half. Well, we'll find out the hard way.
Préparez le navire au combat. Alerte collision. Bord,
Okay, only two enemies that still have to spawn. Please don't be destroyers. Okay, one more. Still no destroyers in sight. Gonna load the HE. And start tearing into them, I guess. You know, Phoenix, would you mind actually leaving the C point to me? And you maybe go for the B point. So if you don't want to, I'm fine if you don't want to. But it seems like we have no blue water spawn opponents. Oh boy. If only I was in something that's actually quick. And if only I can actually aim. There goes the AI gunners. I just keep going. Of course, I'm not going to get given the C point because that guy. But oh well. I should be able to farm plenty of coastal vessels. Again, if my aim allows for it. Yeah, this is a shocking map to get with no other enemy blue water spawns. I've gotten this map before playing a 3-3 frigate with SKRs on the enemy team. And that was, I can tell you, not very fun. I should probably turn towards the coastal spawn as well now. And I do not really have enough HE loaded for this kind of combat. Well, that damage will at least help grinding with camos, I guess. So all these AI targets will give me a lot of RP. And for some reason my frame rate is not liking this either. Like, darn. Probably the rain, if anything. Oh, hello, SF-40. Hello, actual RP. Maybe I can actually sink it before the friendly does. Which will be the case as the friendly got sunk. There we go. That will never arch over the island. Oh, hello. Still has spawn protection, but not for very long, I assume. There we go. This is just straight up, yeah, unfair for the enemy team. Shooting over. There we go. Kill assist is fine. Okay, those sub-shells actually connected. That was an actual player as well. Jeez. In no world was this a fair match for the enemy team. With 2 frigates on one team and none on the other. That is, I'm not gonna complain about the free RP at least. If anything, I'd love it for all my matches to be like that, but I highly doubt it will be. As you can see, whilst they are a lot more fun, didn't actually earn that much RP. Although, again, that is because I did not have the 50% booster as well. There we go, armed targeting, and we'll get improved rangefinder right out of the gate. Then let's get shrapnel protection next, and then propeller replacement. Also, I think I've actually noticed 55k. This is also one of those ships where when you spade it, you don't actually unlock the next one, isn't it? So 55 with 3.6. 6.4, 6.3, 6.8, 8.8, so 11-ish K in bonuses. Yeah, just about. You don't get the VLT1 with Spading Suprise. Actually, no, it's by a wide margin you don't get it, isn't it? Yeah, because I got quite a fair bit into it with the VLT2 as well. Whilst we're waiting on the next match, let's see, is there anything else I have to update about? Well, my video on the update summary is going along smoothly. If I can keep doing that, it'll probably be out somewhere next week. Any other major stuff? Not really. Other than we are soon actually expecting the next dev block season for the next update. And then Operation Winter still has to happen as well. It's gonna be an exciting month, I think, December. Though I think, as I said before, if we don't see a raise in the maximum BR for naval, not going to be a very good month. Because then we'll be stuck with the 7.0 meta for another 3 months at least. Okay, Fuego Island boats again. It seems that tonight Fuego Islands is our place to be. This is a much bigger match. And an up tier. To 4 at least. So, for context, last match was the best case scenario for this map. This match will probably be the worst case scenario. Although with a bit of luck there won't be any enemy SKRs. We do have 4 oh. Boy. Who do I shoot first? Probably the Harakaze. I deem that to be one of the bigger threats. US 5-inch 38 is always dangerous. I'm not gonna look at NASA 40 at the moment, there's several destroyers in front of me. Just a loop. Just the same map over and over again, but slightly different. And these guns are really temperamental at this range as well, which is not helping things. And of course, because I'm a coastal, I get strafed by all the AI gunners, which will knock out turrets, because they're all unshielded. And there we have somebody coping. Who is it actually? I probably shouldn't be looking there. No, who was it? A reserve Japanese player. Okay. Fire in the front turret. And I am just incapable of finishing off this Harakaze. Come on. I'm gonna get torpedoed point blank, am I?
Allied forces have captured a zone.
Where do I have to shoot this Harakaze to actually sink it? There it goes. What is this, man? Torpedoes out against me. I literally can't do anything about it. I don't have a bridge, I don't have guns that can rotate fast enough to actually track this target. Okay, that one actually didn't kill me, but those were the ones definitely did. This is... yeah. This is the worst case scenario for this map, as is quite obvious. Although luckily our team seems to be pulling ahead. I say as there's a full health German destroyer in our spawn. This is why this map is wild at these kind of battle ratings.
Our victory is near. Most of the zones are under control. Take him down! Thank you very much!
Yeah, this, and I'm getting torpedoed in my own spawn because I just don't have the movement for it, man. What is this map? And the funny part is, this is not how this particular version of the map used to be. Because of course, in the old version, these islands were closer in the middle, you actually had to cover island and sea, the blue water spawns were like behind here, behind these islands, so you could move in here. How... I don't have words for this. I just don't. It is just a... it's just a cluster. Like this is just destroyer behind our spawn. Like, it's chilling. Bigger version. Let's actually spell words correctly, maybe?
Just keep it up, and victory will be
Gonna
ours.
try and bomb the guy that's behind our spawn, because... never mind, he's been dealt with. But yeah, this map is utter chaos in this kind of battle rating. Gonna have to look through my banned map list and see if this one actually deserves to stay on there permanently. That'll just be one. Way ahead. Detonated way below. Well, I've got two more. And it's a Matsuki, so it doesn't really have any anti-air. Let's now head from a proper angle for a dive bombing run. Direct hit. Blew up the engines and down to 3%, so that thing will sink. And we've lost the destroyer fight, meaning that we have lost this map. Let's try and get our final bomb off on something. Yeah, no, those destroyers are now going to push into the A and B point, and we will not be able to stop them. Okay, that was going to be my target. That's a K2 in the back there of a lot of AI. That's a Yugamol, which is actually a fairly interesting target to go after. AA-wise. Actually, what is that behind there? That, what is that? Oh, it's a spade, that's what it is.
Enemy forces have captured a zone.
Well, let's try a little bit of a level bomb against the Yugamol. There we go, good hit. And we're just gonna head out and rearm. The airfield being on the normal place for the big map and not adjusted at all.
Minimal effort and victory will be ours.
Zoom out, there we go. Yeah, with there being Yugamol here, this was a full up there. Wild. Genuinely wild. That is a 1M, not 2Ms, now I remember. Very well. But I do still kind of think that with the earlier coastals, you can learn a lot. How to shoot, where to be. A bit of luck will still win this. I think actually the enemy doesn't have time unless they capture decap both caps at this point. And there we go. Somehow we won that match. And I am going to investigate what my banned maps were again for naval. Not the worst, but a lot of that RPO of course went to the F6F. So, we go to our map filter. And what is my ban? Encounter South Kvarken, which is fair. On the other hand, it's not that bad. So let's go Fuego Islands. That's not how you spell it. That is how you spell it. You can see that map at 4-7. That is nuts. Could you imagine that shootout but with Frank Knox's? Jeez. That's baffling, genuinely. But also the main reason why I can see that to 4-7 is actually... If you type in boats, do we get all the boats maps? And like all the other boats maps are 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0. Bering Sea is 4-0, but that's fine-ish. Black Sea Port is 4-0, but it's also better suited for that because the swerves spawn all the way up north. And I don't really have direct line of sight to the other ones. Although you have this one, and they kind of uncover one another. Also, this is a pure coastal map, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0. Like, if it goes up to 3-0, that means it purely excludes blue water vessels. So Bering Sea doesn't, but that's fine-ish. Black Sea Port doesn't, which is fine. Fuego Islands is the only one that goes above 4-0 for a boat map. That is wild. Oh well. We'll have that in our ban list because we do not want to do that again. And we'll go off again if everybody readies up. And immediately got into a map on Norway, which is not a good map for a frigate, especially on this side of the map. Let's see, do we have an idea of what it... You know what, nope. I'm gonna first spawn the VLT2. And maybe second spawn the Suprise. Or third spawn even. At this point, spading my French coastals will not take top priority, just unlocking the next ones will. At least having a semblance of fun in a full up tier. Okay, didn't know why my guns lost the targeting there for a second, and blasted. That is also the reason why you do not spawn reserve tier coastals with reserve blue water vessels in your lineup. You will just get blasted by actual on-BR coastals. Okay, that's a bit scary sight, especially going down there. I need to rush it over to the cover. Absolutely blasted, and that is an impetuoso, which I do not want to fight. It seems, other than this, the enemy doesn't have much in the way of coastal opposition. Just gonna mark that 5, so our teammates know where it is. That's the impetuoso opening up on my squad mate. We have a 4-3 with a semi. Or the one of the other furrows, the Calp, just left. And there's a peacock as well, but that's an AI peacock. And I basically just want to concern myself with the impetuoso. Yeah, there goes that guy. 3 coastal spawns at SBR, and they were not even on BR. Be useful to know where the impetuous was going. Okay, that's where there's a German destroyer. I basically locked myself out from defending the B point, which is a bit annoying. And if the destroyer takes a wide turn around this island, I won't be able to torpedo them either. Like if they went over there instead of through this channel, there's not much I can do. Although it seems like they're just going straight down here. Well, let's get going then. And see what we can do. Before the 40s stare into me. There goes the first. And I didn't get a second away, but the first one did get away and should hit. Oh, that'll hit. That'll definitely hit. Will it kill? It did kill. Enemy destroyer next to our spawn point. Always a good sight. And that's gonna be the enemy German destroyer I saw earlier on B. And for some reason my rear gun decided to turn that way instead of the other direction. Oh well. The torpedo most likely hit near his rear ammo rack and just detonated it. We can actually, remind me, to actually see where the torpedo hit, because that's a feature now that's updated where you can see torpedo hits and stuff post-battle. So I definitely want to investigate that, where it actually hit. But I'm suspecting it hit near the rear ammunition storage. The coastal grind for the most part is still pretty harsh. It's only unbearable depending on your own mental fortitude mostly. I've been getting most of my grinds at this point are either high tier blue water or high tier coastal. And I've gotten used to the high tier coastal grind by now. I will say, Bofors boats are a lot nicer than some people give them credit for. They're a good golden standard for even high tier coastals. Like I will never look down on a Bofor boat even at 3.3 or 3.7. They're decent enough. But they're definitely not easy. Especially when your frigate gets classed as a coastal vessel, meaning that all AI gunners will target you as well. Always nice. But yeah, the coastal grind is definitely still not great. The French one is noticeably quicker than the others. I think the Italian one is actually still pretty decently quick as well. I'd have to recheck that, but the French one is actually pretty quick. There is an aircraft up.
Captured most of the strategic zones.
It seems like I have a gun arc to actually hit that destroyer, but he doesn't have the gun arc to hit me, which would be fantastic. So let's try and keep that advantage by not closing the range. Just staying where we are. We're not getting shot at by anybody else either, so just keep this up. So it seems... yeah, I've just lost it. So he's poking behind that ridge again. I just need a few more hits to put him down. Okay, a few more hits. The rear gun now has his line of sight. There we go. Didn't actually quite see where that Margotini was, but I will. I'm sorry, Eintracht, but I actually did miss that question. What do you mean of how come? I'm a little bit focused on that German destroyer. Notice what you're asking. If it's about why the French coastal grind is a bit shorter or quicker, it's because the ships are just cheaper. Like, they do not they only have one vessel that is more than 100,000 RP to research. And that's the last one, and that's I think 270k? Need to check. Oh, okay. Clemson class right there. And just capture A as well. That is too shallow to go through. The other one over here isn't. It shouldn't be for the ship. No, it shouldn't be. Nice mine kill from my squad mate. And they're capturing C as well. Enemy destroyers have just on that note, I've actually been playing French tanks as well recently at that kind of battle rating. Yeah, I find them pretty fun. Also, I wouldn't I'm still not quite sure whether I would actually recommend grinding the French coastal tree.
Enemy forces have captured a zone.
I think it's been a bit of a fun break to actually grind a new tree again. But they're not really special enough to consider jumping to. And if anything, we can still hold out hope that it'll eventually make the coastal grind cheaper. Oh, and there's a Clemson right there. Can't hit his front engines even though I really want to at the moment. Well, that seems to be an AI Clemson as well. It was a bit surprising for it to be right there, and it was.
Ennemi détruit, bien joué. Barre à tribord, tous. À tribord, tous, terminé. Barre au milieu du navire. Barre au milieu du navire, terminé. Cible identifiée. Contre-torpilleur. 2, 0, 0. 5 mètres.
Allied forces have captured a zone.
I would also say that like the French naval tree in general is not one I would recommend to people who are not that confident in their naval stuff. It's not an easy tree. Not a very forgiving one either. There is no naval sim. That doesn't exist. What you're thinking of is naval enduring confrontation, which, reminder, is not sim. And it's not... The last one I played was the arcade one, and it's just not great with how the aircraft meta goes. And in general, I'm not the biggest fan of EC. Just because it's a rush to who gets the enough spawn points for a battleship first, and then stays in a battleship for the entire match. But I will have to remember that I should not play the arcade one. Because you probably weren't there when I did actually play Naval EC 2 weeks ago? Or was it last week even? No, 2 weeks ago. Last week was of course the new update stuff. And it just didn't end well. There was an HE-177 up at 10 kilometers altitude, repeatedly Fritz-Xing any battleship on my team, and of course because it was the arcade EC version he had in-air reloads. That was not very fun. So do we have anybody going to see? We don't. Oh, hello. Oh, okay. It's just the bombs, not the torpedoes, just the bombs. Also, immediately pilot sniped him, so he couldn't have dropped them. So hard left rudder, trying to go for C, but I definitely do not have enough speed to make it to C. I would if I J'd out and went into the VLT2, but then I wouldn't be able to deal with the destroyer that's over there. Yeah, I think that's sadly going to be a defeat. My lack of speed. So I should be able to sink this destroyer over here, this Commandante, which seems to be incredibly inactive for some reason. What are my shells doing? Why is my rear gun shooting up into space? Convergence from the new site is really messing with me. Torpedo, probably from the Commandante. Load HE to deal with its main guns, hopefully.
The enemy's
We're capturing A, good stuff. Good stuff, that gives us some time. Some much needed time.
Another zone captured. We have the advantage.
I don't think it'll give me enough time because this ship is just not great. Luckily he's just backing up, but I do not have the elevation to hit his engine stuff. He's sinking. He's sinking. And now we just move on to the B point. The C point rather, yeah. Yeah, no, this is not a fast boat. It actually should be able to go 32, but of course one of my engines is damaged and I can't repair it in that state. I'll get to that when I'm in the hangar, when I can actually show you the crew skills. Right. We clawed that victory out of the jaws of defeat. And hopefully this should be a decentish chunk of RP. Did some decent stuff in the VLT, did some decent stuff in the Suprise. And that's almost 10,000 naval RP. And almost half of it going, well, more than half of it going to Suprise. So, okay, first things first, let's get propeller replacement, and VT will be our next unlock. Then, I want to go to replace hit analysis. Where's the torpedo hit? There it is. So where did I hit the impetuoso to sink it in one shot? Right in the rear magazine. So that's why it got sunk in one hit. It just detonated the rear magazine. This is also a very fun thing, but as you can see for naval, it is so many hits it's recording. So many. And usually it's not actually all that useful. Because, well, okay, that was apparently the killing blow against the Commandante. Not really. So it's more interesting for torpedo hits and stuff like that. And so VT hits as well. But yeah. Star rated rear magazine. Crew skills, that's the next one. As Liberate actually kind of went into, what I usually go for first is just enough levels to get an expert crew. So what you'll see with a lot of these crews, especially for France, is that they're actually all just a bit of everything. A bit of a level in everything. And it's just to get a high enough crew level to get the expert qualification for it. Because experting a crew gives you 3 full levels or 3 full bars in all the skills that of course apply. So even though I've only gotten 1 level into this, I get another, you know, a lot of bonuses. Which are the cheapest? Just look at this. Look at the cost. So I go through all the tabs. I look whatever's cheapest, and I just do a level into that over and over until getting a high enough crew level. After getting high enough crew level, what I recommend you do is crew interchangeability and leadership are very important. Crew interchangeability is literally your hit points for your ship. So the higher that level, the more damage you can take. So that is a very important one. Maybe not really for coastals, but for blue water vessels definitely. Leadership is just a stat bonus to almost everything. So that's always a decent one to get. Observers, ignore it, unless you play arcade. In realistic battles, this skill literally does nothing. This skill doesn't really do anything in realistic, and neither does this. In arcade they're a bit more important, but in realistic you can forget about the stab. This one is pretty important as well. Fire prevention is a pretty big important skill, because it'll reduce your fire chance when you get hit in the engines. And less fires, less damage, less repairs. Always a good one. So fire prevention is a good one. Ship control is not really a necessary one. It's a nice one to have. It makes your ship a bit more responsive to your helm controls, but it's not important to get. Definitely get fire prevention. So crew interchangeability, leadership, fire prevention. Gunners, reload speed. There's really always go for reload speed. If it's tanks, if it's ships, better reload is never a bad thing. If you're playing a Axis nation or a nation that doesn't have VT shells for secondary guns, remote fuse setting accuracy is kind of interesting if you want to get a more reliable long-range anti-aircraft gun. So for example, for my Japanese crews, of course, all of them are fully leveled. But since most of them only have HGTF for their anti-air guns, getting this setting upgraded can be kind of important to get more reliability out of time fuse shells. But other than that, just get reload speed. AA gun accuracy isn't bad to get, but in realistic battle you don't actually see that many aircraft that often, so they're not that important. Neither are auxiliary and AA caliber reload speed. Not that important. So main reload speed, maybe think about remote fuse setting accuracy. Damage control, all of it is important. All of it. I'm not entirely sure which one I would go for first, because genuinely they're all just important. Fire extinguishing probably something you want to get first. Unwatering less so, but fire extinguishing breach repair is your normal repairs. Definitely want to do that. And survival leadership as well. So yeah. In damage control, all of them are important, but I would personally go for fire extinguishing first. Then logistical services you can ignore, and that's it. So to summarize again, leadership and crew interchangeability are very important. Fire prevention in your boiler room is pretty important as well. Then main caliber reload speed, and maybe remote fuse setting accuracy, especially as you go to higher tiers with nations that only have HGTF, but that's more circumstantial. So main caliber reload speed definitely. Damage control, everything is important, but I prioritize getting fire extinguishing, and that's about it. Yes, that's true. Getting secondary caliber reload speed for battleships is very nice. So let's go to a battleship lineup for Japan so I can show it. So for example, my Mutsu, that's of course your secondary gun. And it goes from 7.8 to 6, which is not the biggest difference. And it is your secondary gun still, compared to your main caliber reload speed. So I'd still prioritize main caliber reload, but all of the crew skills eventually do become important, do change, and do improve your ship. But prioritize main caliber reload speed, fire prevention, leadership and crew interchangeability, and fire extinguishing, is what I'd say. But that's enough about crew skills. Let's get back to French boats. And I see my squad mates are ready, so let's just jump into the next match. But yeah, so those crew skills I would prioritize only after getting an expert crew. Of course, that depends on how free you are with your SL income. Because I usually sit on a healthy cushion of SL. I always expert all of my ships. Because it basically gives you like 3 full bars on all your crew skills. And now we wait for the queue. And there we go. Black Sea Port Boats is... I mentioned this is not a bad map for frigates, because you have this big old island around A that actually blocks your vision from each other. You can actually get to the battle without being in an immediate close-range knife fight. Like Fuego Islands, jeez. Well, it's a bit annoying that this one has to go around an island. Very well. This is also a map that's 4.0 max, I think. Well, it has to be, because if it's 3.0 max, we wouldn't be in this map. And it seems like a good one. I'll definitely go to the A point. Luckily I spawned close to the edge of the island. I might... Okay, a leopard. Slightly dangerous target. Namatsuki. I'm gonna actually gun for the B point. Although that is definitely not my safest option. The thing is, there's not... Okay, there's 2 leopards. Okay, just 2 leopards and 1 Matsuki. The thing is, the A point, if I were in a torpedo-armed ship, I would go for the A point. Because torpedoes are very, very reliable tools when you're in a close-range fight when somebody goes around the corner. But since this thing does not have torpedoes, I do not want to be fighting over A against actual destroyers. So instead we'll make our way over to the B point. And probably exchange some shots over this Mitsuki. Let's deal with it flying before it becomes a problem. And I'm overshooting this Mitsuki like crazy. There we go, some decent hits. Ouch, there goes my front gun. So I am dealing serious damage to this Mitsuki in return. There goes my front gun again. And again. And there I got knocked out by a leopard. I didn't even know I lost that much crew already. A little bit annoyed that those 2 actually shot me from that angle. But oh well, it's the Suprise for you, just fragile. Well, luckily these leopards are just going out in the open for us, so we have a nice clear line of sight towards them. But they are going for me, which is less than desirable. And these guns are still really not liking to have good dispersion. They just fall high and short all the time. And my own aiming doesn't help it much either. Oh, come on. All I have to do is hit that rear engine once. And they've already put me down to 30%. Come on, guns. Hit that rear engine, please. Okay, I guess you won't. Going over again. Again. And you have one shell hit the bridge and the other one hit the engine on the same kind of elevation direction, but well, that's just what these guns are like for some reason.
Alerte collision.
Destroy the target!
Indirect, navire ennemi en feu.
And my shells hit just a little bit short. And then they go immediately over. There we go, but he launched torpedoes, which will be a problem for me at some point. Difficult to adjust for these small, fast-moving boats, and I'm already not enough crew. And that hit indicator is just completely lying to me. As I tend to do. I think it's the Mitsuki or either a respawn of those leopards. It is a respawned leopard that has just sunk me.
Descendez les canons de sauvetage. Abandonnez le navire maintenant.
Let's see if we can sink ourselves some leopards. Problem is that the leopard actually has a fairly decent anti-air armament for this BR. 220 mils, but it's still 220 mils. We've also completely lost the coastal engagement. Somehow. So after I get shot down in this F6F, we'll go for a BLT2 spawn. So my plan now is to strike this leopard, go to the Mitsuki, and then go to the leopard up north. With my 3 1,000 pounders. And we'll see how that goes. There goes the 20 mils on the first leopard. The annoying part is that those 20 mils have really good firing arcs. Going from above, but not so much coming from the front. If you can actually go to the front of it. So that's bomb 1. Didn't do much. We go to the mommy. Bomb 2. Hit the mast. And that'll be it. And where did our second bomb go? Because I didn't hear it detonate. A bit shocked that our first bomb didn't do much to the Leopard either. That's another thing. I think you can actually see those in the replay as well. The bomb drops. So we'll have to see what happened to those bombs. Okay, well, that one actually did take a lot of damage, although I think it just got bombed by my teammate. But we'll definitely go look what those bombs did after this battle. Yeah, I have a feeling something similar happened to that bomb, but we'll have to find out. Oh well. Let's go find out what happened to those bombs. Yeah, there's a bit of a disappointing amount of RP, but we did get our VT shell at least. Making our Suprise even more lethal in anti-air combat. Now the most important part will be more speed. Let's see what happened to that bomb. There it is. So, simulate shot, that bomb... That is not what happened. Because that would have killed him, right? That is definitely not what happened to him. Well, the thing is, one of the reasons why they added this feature is so that you could report stuff. And that is something I definitely want to report. The problem is, of course, well, actually, hold on. So a thing they like to have is a video recording when you bug report something. And up until now, I've never really been able to live record when those bomb hits happen to me. But guess what I just did? I'm live streaming it. And I can clip these live streams anytime I want. Or if somebody here actually can clip that one moment that happened, that would be perfect. And even if you can't, I'll just have to timestamp it when I put it in a report. But that's great. That's very great. I'll definitely save this replay folder. I can't look at the replay now. Yeah, but they even server replays they won't accept. For as far as I know. Like, you have to record it as it happens. Because I remember the last time one of my bombs just phased through a ship, they wouldn't take a replay for it. So let's rename that to a Funky 1000 Pounder. If I can spell it correctly. And we'll remember that one. But yeah. Let's just keep on going. But if anybody can clip that particular moment it happened, that would be amazing. Although I'm not entirely sure how the clipping thing works in YouTube. The bomb didn't even destroy anything in him. It slightly reddened one of his crew compartments from all I could see. The other weird thing about that simulate shot is my bomb is on a 1.5 second fuse delay, which it wasn't in that simulation. That's a Vega, which will just turn me into dust. Luckily, it seems to be the only enemy destroyer. So I have a friendly Grafton with me, who is already engaging the enemy Vega. So that's a good sign at least. Never mind, there's 2 Vegas. So I'll definitely be turned into dust.
Barre à bâbord. Barre à bâbord. Terminé.
And of course, they're shooting me, even though I'm not engaging them.
Destroy the target.
Fun times ahead for me, that's for sure. I smell a VLT spawn after this.
The Allied forces have captured a zone.
Cible touchée par les obus.
I found my lead at least. I'm gonna have to actually do some meaningful damage to Bao and Vegas before they melt me.
Nous avons subi les dégâts. Les ennemis touchés. Poste de réparation. Arme endommagée. Appareil en contrôle. Attirez.
The victory is near.
And of course he changed heading, so I need to adjust my lead. Which is difficult when you do not have a lead indicator, whilst your 2 enemies do.
Appareil en contrôle. Ouais. Cible touchée par les obus. Barre à tribord. Terminé. Bateau. 1, 2, 0. 4000 mètres. Ennemi touché. Nous avons subi les dégâts. Attirez. Poste de réparation. Arme endommagée. Appareil en contrôle.
Most of the zones are under control.
Come on.
Ennemi touché.
I can take at least one of the Vegas with me. Repair these engines, I should be able to damage this again.
Touché par les obus.
If my shells actually want to hit them, that's a different question. Before my main gun gets taken out by a 20mm. That Vega is at least sinking, but he still has his massive rate of fire over me. But he's gone, so let's go for the second Vega. I do not need to repair my engine, so let's cancel the repair.
Forces have captured a zone.
Attirez. Poste de réparation. Arme endommagée. Appareil en contrôle. Attirez.
I'm hoping that Grafton will really just start dealing some serious damage. It doesn't seem like it.
Route de réparation. Commissaire, contrôlez les dégâts. Poste de réparation. Arme endommagée. Appareil en contrôle. Ouais. Ennemi touché. Cible touchée par les obus.
That should be another Vega sunk. And hopefully with my name on it, but I somehow doubt it. There we go. Now to shoot another Vega, I guess. And keep that up another 5 times. There's an enemy plane up. And I completely forgot to switch out to the VT. So we'll leave it for the next spawn.
Cible identifiée. Notre torpilleur.
What are you? Actual player in a Parama, not something you see very often. All the more reason to just annihilate it.
Thank you.
Flooding apparently.
Dégâts au groupe de réparation. Pompez l'eau des compartiments inondés. Maintenant.
Keep it up and victory will be ours.
Ennemi touché.
And I'm permanently flooding in my engine compartment, apparently. And that guy in the farm is really not happy about the fact that I killed him.
Oh, thanks.
Or at least the ship is sunken. And that one must already be dead because it can't lock onto him.
Alerte collision. Chargement munitions explosives.
We've captured most of the strategic zones.
En arrière.
Air 150, 1,000 meters. We have most of the zones.
Let's focus on coastal targets for now. And let's switch our guns to air targets only. Because I get the feeling that Hurricane will be coming in with a vengeance.
Chargement munitions semi-perforants. Cible touchée par les obus. Tout le monde, nous avons subi les dégâts critiques.
There's just an AI one as well. There we go.
Cible touchée par les obus.
Hurricane got shot down by another AI.
Let's keep the pressure on. Victory is close.
And we just keep this up for now. And game's over. Not the worst. Especially since there was only really 2 enemy blue waters. Kinda disappointingly small amount of RP though, but then again I didn't really do much. Still, we got engine maintenance, so our Suprise is a bit faster. So now on to dry docking. Already almost half done spading this thing. Going pretty quick. Alrighty. Phoenix has to go. It is probably getting a bit late for him. That'll just leave me and Nord to go and have some coastal shenanigans. And we keep waiting. And there we go, on to the next match, which is Golden Bay again. Mediocre, well, medium-filled match. French in the enemy team. That's a bad sign. I'm probably going to expect another Fritz-X on the forehead. Thunderbolt doesn't really say much about BR. Litchfield 3-3. Let's just see what happens, shall we? Oop. That's one. Stab, Arras, Army, Litchfield. Of course, they have G-Class, which I keep forgetting if it's a 3-7 or a 4-0. And a Vega, so 2 3-7s potentially. Against me and a Litchfield. Definitely a fair balance of firepower, and they have a... Is it a normal Clemson or is that a British one? And that's a normal one, it doesn't have the funky gun towers for the 20 mils. Alrighty. And another Clemson on their side. We are already outgunned. And... is it another Clemson? 3 Clemsons, a Vega and a G, and another one. Damn, there's a lot of Clemsons about. Oh well. My demise will probably be swift, and French is it in the 2-4, he filthy man. And again, the last time we saw him was in the 2-4 as well, so we should have seen this one coming. Yeah, the 2-4 is a really good Russian coastal. Especially against a team that isn't really fielding BR appropriate coastals in return. Torpedoes on the way, they seem aimed at me. So it will have to take those into account. Although it seems that his second torpedo rack exploded on him. So that's good news for me. Knocked off a lot more of his crew percentage. Just getting overpens against his crew compartments though. Frenchie is already in a... He might be doing the battle pass task of getting bomber kill streaks. Although it seems a bit... No, never mind. What is he doing?
We're controlling most of the zones.
Oh, very strange. too far forward, although it is destroying some compartments. And we keep going. Another torpedo detonation, although I don't see too much in the result of crew damage yet. Yeah, the torpedo detonation didn't seem to do too much in terms of crew damage. There's Clemson. God, there's a lot of Clemsons about now at the moment. Okay, there goes a fire on my end. One of my 20mm mounts. It's fine, really. Me hitting a rock is less fine. That Clemson should be sinking. But the half dozen behind him will probably knock me out at some point. Although it is the Vega currently giving me some trouble. A lot of trouble. It's kind of too far out of my combat range to do much about it. So I might just deal with these closer ones. And just get sunk at some point and deal with it. Flooding quite severely, but I should be able to deal with it after I repair my guns.
A little more effort and victory will be ours.
Guns still do not want to work on me with vertical dispersion. If I can get behind that container ship, I should be somewhat safe. That's going to be a pretty big if, I think. Again, my shells do not want to work with me. Oh, neither does not having an engine, really. And I think I've run out of ready ammo as well, which also doesn't help. There goes my rearmost gun, the front gun is now behind the ship. And I'm just gonna sit here for a little bit. And I hope they don't kill me by just hitting my bridge. Which is very possible. And of course, because I'm a coastal vessel, all of their AI gunners will just continue to light me up.
Keep it up and victory will be ours.
There goes my bridge. Technically, I should be safe-ish now. Until they decide to switch targets. Of course, what's the point of me being safe if I can't shoot in return? So let's just keep moving. Hope they forget about me. And then try and take some more shots. Immediately lost my rear gun again. Entirely sure. I think it says rear Clemson shooting, but I'm not entirely sure. But this damage output is just quite sad. Let's see if we can at least sink that Clemson over there. Of course, if he never repairs his engines, it's going to be a bit tricky to sink him. It should be doable.
A little more effort and victory will be ours.
Preferably before I get sunk in return. Okay, there goes one of them. The guy's still full health, because he is. And we've got Clemson's on the point at almost full health too. And again, that's kind of what happens when most of our team is actually coastals, whilst the enemy team isn't. But it doesn't mean that we can't do any damage to them. That was a Fritzak straight to the ledge shield. That was a very good shot. Yeah, the PR-123 is not going to do too much against the Clemson with his guns. Doesn't seem like he still has torpedoes left. This turn is going to end me because I can't actually depress my guns. At this point I really wish I had depth charges. And I've been stuck. Because he's sailing right behind me and depth charges would have been really nice right about now. But he is inside of a coastal spawn. And I still have a coastal spawn. So that's going to be a torpedoed Clemson very soon. You keep that 4-inch gun away from me. If I can. Torpedo away. Which seems to be going to hit. And there we go. The Typhoon it is. I just got blasted by Douglas.
1,000 meters.
His friends over there, he might be able to torpedo, but I think the match will be over. Also, it might fire decap for B. We only have one torpedo left, and it's on the right hand side. I should actually check if I can bring depth charges on this thing. Because this can be very, very important defense weapons. It's a very awkward approach. He sees me, and he killed me. I only got one torp kill. And that one you don't need an analysis on, I just hit him straight in the front. Probably should have actually gone around the other side of the ship and then had an actual angle of that rear, with that right hand side torpedo tube. Now we're going to be in a bit of trouble if we don't sink that Frunze. The Frunze, of course, is also one with a decent AA suite, and we have a destroyer on sea as well. Oh, that's a bit tricky, isn't it? Though we only need to kill one of them, and to be honest, I like my odds more against the Clemson than the Frunze. The Frunze has decent anti-air. So let's see if we can just absolutely bombard that Clemson with 1,000-pounders. And see what happens. I don't see any 20 mils opening up on me yet from that Clemson, so it might be the one of only a 76 in the rear. So let's just take our time lining this up. First drops the left 1000 pounder, then the right. One hit is a bit disappointing. That's seemingly not a lot of damage. Seemed a bit better. He's on 8% crew. He might just sink outright. Why did I only lose 50 tickets from somebody sinking? That is not normal. There we go. They lost 100. I sworn sinking a ship lost 300. Prince has been sunk as well. Does it only lose 50? Oh, I'm gonna jet. I'm just gonna go capture C. That's already being done. Yeah, I'll just get a PT boat over to B. Let's analyze those bomb drops though after this match. The enemy aircraft approaching. I'm actually going to relinquish control of my 20 mils. They might shoo off those aircraft a bit better.
Enemy forces have captured a zone.
Yeah, well, we won that match at least. So that's good. Well, that was a bit dangerous at that point. Decent amount of RP at least. And a camo unlocked for, I assume, the Suprise. Yes. Let's look at his bombs. And the torpedo hit, because why not? Interesting. Interesting. But yeah, that just hit his front. That is let's reload that model if we can. Okay, yeah, no, that's just how it is, apparently. And now the 1000-pound bombs. So the first two, this one hit. Again, those are bombs that should have killed. But then again, these aren't with any kind of time delay. So that was the second one. Was it? Yeah, that one hit below him. Clearly, like it hit detonate below him. That damage should have sunk him outright as well. So those were the first two bombs, because yeah, they're only 2 seconds apart. The first one would have been a direct hit that should have blown his bow off. The second one detonated below him that should have detonated the rear mags. Didn't. And the third one... that one seems more reasonable. So that they hit the water, detonated a little bit later and nuked his engines, that seemed to actually have happened. But those first two don't seem right. I mean, this one I can understand because it doesn't have a fuse delay. So the simulation is a bit whack. This one, though, seems vaguely accurate because it didn't hit him directly, so it detonated below him. But that leads me to believe that he should have been sunk by that damage. Strange. But oh well. Yeah, I don't need to see the yellow animation again. Dry docking has been got, so now we have a maximum speed La Suprise. And let's go for depth charges next, because why not? And let's give it the honor of giving it a camo. And let's put my flag on it, there we go. And I think we'll do one more match and see what happens. And now we probably have one of our first interesting maps for this boat. African Gulf. With a very nice destroyer spawn. Got French in our team this time. That's good. In a German lineup. That bodes well. Small match. Small match. So I might actually just want to gun for the B point. With my blisteringly fast top speed of 38 kilometers an hour. I'm just keeping an eye out, scanning for enemy destroyers. Didn't see any yet. It's still a small match. And there we have our enemy destroyer. But let's stay on course. With a bit of luck that Clemson will just not shoot at us either. Never mind. He seems a little bit more trigger happy. If that's the case, change of plans, we'll head into the sea point. Cover will be our friend. Get the first hit, but I luckily didn't receive any damage. But I haven't done any damage in return either. Some flooding, but that's fine. Our job is just to get behind that island as quickly as possible. And get ourselves out of his sights. Much damage still, that's good. I'm not doing anything in return either. Whilst quickly expanding my sap ammunition. There we go, decent hit. But I get the feeling that'll be our only one for the time being. Nope, there we go. Gotten the lead down. Now we just need to get the range correct. Okay, that was a big hit. We'll stay behind here for a little bit. But we have much choice with a destroyed bridge. But hopefully he doesn't have the angle to go up. And what do I see there? Another Clemson. who is also engaging me. That is bad news.
Enemy forces have captured a zone.
Contrôle des dégâts au groupe de réparation. Établissez l'étanchéité.
Like, genuinely, that is not great. The second Clemson on my flank.
Cible identifiée. Bateau. Position 1-0-0. 5
Shoot up some coastals. Whilst both the Clemsons are not in our sight.
Cible identifiée. Bateau. 1-0-0.
Enemy forces have captured a zone.
And there's Frenchie with his Fritz axe. We'll have a lot of fun fighting two Clemsons.
Take him down.
I think the Clemson over at A is actually a better target.
Designated grid zone.
Cible identifiée. Contre-torpilleur. Position 4-0.
Destroy the target.
Alerte collision. Moteur à l'arrêt.
Compared to the Clemson over here at least. Although either of them getting a Fritz axe to the face will be fine, really. Okay, smoke screen in the face. But I would definitely go for that one.
The enemy's getting closer to victory.
It seems French is now just climbing up. Yeah, this one's dead. We can sink him. Again, if I can get my ranging correct, and I get another smoke screen in the face. From the Brentford, which I can kind of understand, see, just facing down a Clemson. And kill assist is fine.
Groupe de réparation. Commencez à contrôler les dégâts. Cible identifiée. Bateau. 8-0. 4000 mètres.
Where is that Italian? Oh, there he is. He's on defending B point.
Cible identifiée. Bateau. 6-0.
Nuke a Clemson if you can.
Bateau. Alerte collision. Chargement munitions anti-aériennes. Position 6-0. Paracivore. Paracivore. Terminé.
It'd be incredibly funny if that first shot just hit him right in the face with VT. And almost, ooh, I have the lead. And of course he changed. There goes a wingtip. And there goes a plane. And if that 4-inch gun actually had decent dispersion, there would have gone the MS-473. He's been just a thorn in our side. But it was not to be, I guess. We don't really have anybody defending the C point either, so if just any of them just sneak behind us, capture C point, this game will be over. Oh, really? All because I didn't have my gunners and air targets? Luckily those tiny Tims didn't absolutely tear me apart, but it did a lot of damage. There's still more on the group apparently. Luckily that was an ammo rack. Good stuff, because that's a very nasty target to deal with. And they're capturing C point behind us, like I thought they would.
If we don't do something fast, the enemy will win.
Contrôle des dégâts au bout de réparation. Pompez l'eau des compartiments inondés.
And it'll be a defeat. Sadly.
Capture the zone.
Can I at least get one more kill? No, I cannot. Ah, that's annoying. And to be honest, the tickets were going down really quick as well. But yeah, these kind of frigates are just not particularly fun. They're the type of frigates that are just worse in every single regard compared to a same BR destroyer. And that makes them just not fun. Luckily, Suprise is not that expensive to spade and goes decently quickly. But it's definitely not one of my favorites. And we'll just do one more match. And hopefully I won't keep saying that for the next 2 hours. Oh, that reminds me, there's something I could talk about. There has been a leak list already been going around with some interesting ships on it, claiming that the Operation Winter event will be Kirishima, which would be funny, being our third Congo and our second event Congo. There's also, on that leak list was a Colorado class, the first American 16-inch gun battleship. I forgot which one it was though. Was it Maryland? Something like that. And the leak list seems vaguely plausible. But we'll have to wait and see whether or not it's actually true. And on to the next match. Green Mountains Gulf is not terrible, not particularly good either for this kind of frigate. Because what you want to do is, I don't want to fight destroyers over the B point, so I'll take this shortcut, quote unquote shortcut, and try and meddle with the C point. And didn't I just unlock depth charges? I did. Oh no.
Préparez le navire au combat.
Oh well, if this stream ends by getting Fritz axe to the face, I'll accept it. Yeah, if it's a late war refit Colorado, that'd be great. That's also been a little bit of a, speaking of refits, if we are getting Kirishima as an event ship, it's a bit questionable what kind of Congo we'd get. Because most Japanese fans would like to see, if we get Kirishima, it to be the World War I Kirishima. And if we get Hiei, which would be the last Congo, if that would be the World War II one. Because Hiei's superstructure, I think, was a predecessor to the Yamato's superstructure. So that's a lot more interesting to see as a World War II fit. Whilst Kirishima is... I don't think it has anything special for it, really, compared for World War II superstructure. But then getting a World War I Congo as an event ship is a bit meh. But I am very curious to see what the event ships will be for Operation Winter.
Cible identifié. Bateau.
But we can only wait and hope something good happens.
Roll-bas de combat. Ennemi détecté.
Destroy the target.
Okay, one person of the enemy two-man squad already left. That's a good sign for me. And there's the enemy Clemson.
Chargement munitions semi-perforant. Cible identifié.
Too high, but the lead seemed good. And now, of course, I hit these concrete barges.
Moteur. Entière.
And that's the Clemson, I think, bombarding me now.
Cible identifié.
Yeah. There goes 20% of my crew. This is exactly the kind of fight I do not want to have. But it seems that I am the only blue water spawn, which is always lovely when I have to deal with destroyers, which outnumber me with twice as many guns, and are much faster than I am, and have torpedoes. All at the same battle rating and being much cheaper. The more you think about it, the less high-tier coastal makes sense. So it's better not to think about it too much. Or at all.
Pompez l'eau des compartiments inondés.
Allied forces have captured a zone.
Cible identifié. Bateau. Chargement munitions semi-perforant.
We somehow haven't captured the sea point yet. Clemson has switched targets or priorities. Now that he went behind the island. I'll see if I can just punish his engines a little bit more.
We're winning. Allied forces have captured a zone.
I can keep this up and probably sink him. I'm not entirely sure my shots are actually going over the island or not. Let's see if we can send an HE shell into the PTA-12.
En arrière, tous. Cycle identifié. Bateau. Cycle identifié. Bateau.
I'm really not liking the vertical dispersion on these guns. It is very, very temperamental. So I want to turn right, but I shouldn't, because it'll block the
Victory will be ours.
line of sight of that barge to this Japanese boat. Also, with a bit of luck, I should be finishing him off with one more shell. If my vertical dispersion wants to work with me, which of course it doesn't. Enemies capturing B, that'll probably be the Clemson I've been trying to shoot up. So let's make a hard right turn and make our way over to B, I guess. Whilst trying to keep this spawn point a little bit suppressed. Also, I need to keep a good eye on my radar screen whether or not French actually comes into an aircraft or not. Probably save some of these PT shells. I'm gonna start manually shooting these Sentinels over there now. Because he's being very annoying. Be gone.
Enemy forces have captured a zone.
There is an enemy aircraft up. Let's see if this salvo does it. Where is he? Okay, we get the main guns turned around. I don't think it matters anymore. Also, I will load some VT for that Ashel. Never mind. Now we do have to make our way over to the B point at some point. There's the Ashel that I shot. So let's see if he'll go for me. Probably he will. We'll put our gunners on anti-air duties only. There go your wings. And there goes the plane in its entirety. Enemy on A, that's not great, but it seems that we have a teammate about to enter the B point.
Let's keep the pressure on.
There we go.
Victory is close. Enemy forces have captured a zone.
I get the distinct feeling that if I don't stay around the C point, it'll cap it behind me. But at the same time, you do kind of need to protect the B point. French is on A, alrighty. Not our biggest worry at the moment. Enemy Clemsons are.
Position 1, 2, 0. 2000 mètres.
Like, I'm genuinely worried that some enemy coastal will just annihilate our coastal defense at sea and just capture the sea point behind me. But I think it's too late for me to interfere anyways.
Contrôlez les dégâts.
Destroy the target.
Clemson's about to go around that corner. Let's empty the barrels and load the sap. There he is.
Cible touchée par les obus. Mouvement. Nous avons subi les dégâts critiques.
That vertical dispersion, man. It is not great.
Cible touchée par les obus.
Destroy the target.
And French is coming around the north to B as well, so it will be a nice little pincer maneuver between two destroyers. There go torpedoes against me. I'll wait for him to launch more torpedoes and just turn sharp left, which I'll do right now. Just need to shoot at front boiler if I can. Come on. I'm getting melted ever so slightly. Luckily he's somebody who just repairs his engines. I should be able to sink him before he fully sinks me. That is a very big should, but well. Clemson's already sinking. For some reason this AI behind me is absolutely doing quite a bit of damage to me. It says that Clemson hasn't sunk yet. He's sinking very close. Soon at least. Can't find my words. And there's Frenchie in a... that looked like Churchill. And I can't really contest that B-cap, because I'm literally a one-shot. And that's a full health Clemson class.
Take him down!
Pas au milieu du navire. Pas au milieu du navire. Terminé.
That guy is definitely not happy with me.
We no longer have the advantage.
Chargement munitions anti-aériennes.
Come on, main guns, turn. Those are Tiny Tims.
Moteur à l'arrêt. Cible aérienne détruite. Chargement munitions semi-perforants. À bord. Tout. À bord. Terminé. Sur le radar. Bombardier torpilleur.
Okay, that's an HXK.
Chargement munitions anti-aériennes. Poste de réparation.
Which I can kind of steal. I can get my shots right. There we go. And that'll give me some ample opportunity to look at some VT shells in the hit analysis thing.
4000 mètres.
Just a little more effort, and victory will surely be ours.
Where did French go? Did I just miss him getting sunk or something? I did? I did miss him getting sunk?
Destroy the target.
Oh, lovely. And these guns are looking the complete wrong direction because I thought Frenchie was still on the B point. And for the love of God, actually attack the B point, cap it.
The B point.
Don't just sail away from it. I will not be able to cap it behind you, Nord. You're putting an awful lot of trust in the fact that you'll actually survive to capture the A point. This French... So if I can bomb that Clemson, he'll be out. So that'll be my main objective. Don't immediately have eyes on Frenchie. He was in something British. Which kind of makes me wonder what exactly he's in. Well, he was in a swordfish. And he torpedoed a PT boat in a swordfish. Impressive. Now, is that a Clemson of 20 mils or is it not a Clemson of 20 mils? At this point, I don't think it's a Clemson of 20 mils. So we'll take a nice head-on approach. He's twisting. Definitely not a good approach, but some damage. Still have a bomb left. There we go. Should be able to win this match now. Fairly easily. French is about to contest the C point, but it doesn't matter, game's over. Whew, that was a bit of a close one. And let's see what we got out of that. A decent chunk of RP, most of that probably going to the Suprise, that's great. Let's go to hit analysis. And this is just a VT shot against the ship, doesn't matter. That was the first one, I think. They just barely splashed him. Or just ripped something off, didn't it? I say barely splashed him. For these VT shells detonating so far away, they're doing an awful lot of damage. That's where it was. Did I have any on that H6K? I did. And that S6F that came for me. It was a lot closer. Oh, this was a direct hit to one of the wingtips, apparently. Or one of the flaps. Interesting. I think... Actually, let's see what those bombs did before we leave. So the first two bombs didn't do much. Because they were kind of off-bore. I mean, he did try to dodge, and he dodged them pretty well. This last one, though, straight down the main funnel and just nuked his compartments. Alrighty. That's that. That is La Suprise. Fair bit along the way. Let's go for primary armored targeting to get his turrets faster rotating. Let's go then with... Not entirely sure. Let's get ammo wetting. And then ventilation next. But I think I'm going to leave it at that. It is getting pretty late. But it does mean that the next time we'll definitely get our VLT1. So yeah. That's basically going to be it. So before I go, what do I have planned? Update summary videos going along smoothly. Should probably be out somewhere next week. If I can get myself into gear. December is going to be a very interesting month because we have another update, we have a big event. I've got some stuff in the works for myself that'll be pretty interesting. So yeah. As usual, I thank you all for coming to watch. And I think I'll see you around next week where I'll most likely be doing some battleships again. And maybe some new ones if I can get one of the new ones, but we'll have to see. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next week.